Hi, this is Steve Stine, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to play the A Team by Ed Sheeran. This is actually a special request by my daughter, so I'm kind of excited to play this one. And I'm going to make this as easy as I can for you, but I'm going to show you all of the little isms that Ed Sheeran does within the song. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to do is show you all the tools that you're going to need. The first thing is to put your capo on the 2nd fret. So when I refer to the 1st fret, remember that the 3rd fret would actually be the 1st fret because I'm referring to the capo, right? So capo, then I have 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and so on. And what we're going to be using are the chords G, and we're going to use a 4-finger G. So down here, I want you to use your pinky on the 1st string, your ring finger on the 2nd string, your middle finger all the way on the top on the 6th string, and then your 1st finger is going to go on the 5th string. Okay. Some of you might know a 3-finger G, and if you'd rather play that, that's perfectly fine. I just want to show you more of how he's playing it, and he's using this 4-finger G. Okay. Then we've got a D with F sharp in the bass. Now, generally, I would play D like this, and F sharp, I would use my thumb over the top, pressing on the 2nd fret of the 6th string. But in this case, I've been watching a bunch of different videos of his. What he does is he had his tendency to just move from this 4-finger G to a D F sharp by flipping his middle finger over to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and his 1st finger on the 6th string, 2nd fret. So you're really just taking those top 2 fingers and you're flipping them over. And he just leaves these 2 down here the whole time. Okay? So we have G going to D F sharp. Then we're going to move to E minor. And what he does is he uses these 2 fingers again up here on E minor, but he leaves these 2 down here. Now, if it's very difficult for you to leave those 2 fingers down there the whole time, you don't have to. You could play just a normal G and a normal D and a normal E minor, and it would be perfectly fine. Okay? So we have G to D F sharp with our finger up here, my 1st finger on the 6th string, going to E minor. And then I'm going to go to a C chord, but I'm going to go to it as what's called a C add 9. And what that is taking my 2 fingers again, and I'm going to go on to the 4th and 5th strings. So it's like a G, but I drop these 2 fingers down a string. Okay? So the whole time he's leaving these guys right here. So here's what it sounds like. You've got G, D F sharp, E minor, then C add 9, and then G. So you can kind of hear the song inside there. Okay, now again, if any of those are difficult, remember you could just play a plain old G and a plain old D and a plain old E minor and a plain old C, and you'd be perfectly fine, okay? So if any of that gets too difficult and you don't want to practice some of those different elements, don't worry about it. Just use the regular chords like you always do. Okay, so this is what the verse is going to sound like. You're going to play G, G. Now there's a little bit of strumming changes, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But to begin with, we're doing a G, 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 D, F sharp. So in the 4th measure, we're going from G to D, F sharp. So 2 beats apiece. G, 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 D, F sharp. And then we're going to go to an E minor for a measure. And then we're going to do E minor and C, sharing a measure again. So we have 2 beats apiece. E minor, C, then back to G. So let's break that down. And if you have a pencil and a piece of paper, you could write this down. Make it nice and easy for yourself. So we have G for 3 straight measures. G, 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 then G and D F sharp in the same measure, and then E minor for a measure, then E minor, C in a measure together, and then back to the G for 2 measures. So now, if you've got that written down, and remember, you can always pause the video and write everything down and kind of log what I'm doing over here. Let me play the entire thing for you, the entire verse. Then you'd go back and you do that same exact thing again, okay? So that's the verse. Now let's move on to what I'm going to call the pre-chorus, okay? And what's happening here is we're going to head over to an A minor chord, and then he goes to a C chord, and again, in a lot of the videos that I've seen, he just plays a normal C chord. He doesn't do the C add 9. So he's not feeling like he has to play one or the other. He's just kind of playing whatever feels natural. And you should do the same thing. So he's going A minor, C, G, D, F sharp. So now, again, we'll come back to the rhythm of things, but let's just talk about the chords. So this is your pre-chorus. You're going A minor for 2 measures, C for 2 measures, G for 2 measures, and then D, F sharp for 2 measures. So let me play it again for you. Okay, so pretty easy so far. Now we're going to head over to the chorus, and this was where things get a little bit odd, if you will. There's quite a bit of changes in here, so get ready to write this down. So your chorus is going to start off by doing E minor, C, G, G. Okay, and I'm going to go back to this closed position of playing the 4-finger G, the C add 9, and the E minor, because again, that's what I've seen him do in most of his videos. So you're going E minor, C, G, G, E minor, C, G, E minor, C, G. Okay, so there's 3 of them. Now the 4th time through, he's going to do the same thing, but he's going to keep going and it's going to change. Okay, so now I'd have E minor, C, G, G, you know, in repeat signs with a ×3. And this 4th time now, you'd play E minor for a measure, just like before. C, G. But then he plays G and then D, F sharp like he did before. Oops, sorry. So G to D, F sharp. Okay, again, a subtle change. He's throwing that D, F sharp in there. So let me play the entire beginning of this chorus. So E minor, C, G, G, again, again, last time. The ending's going to be different. Okay, and then he goes back to E minor, C, G, G again for 2 more times. E minor, C, G. This is the Angels to Fly part. So if you skipped that little D, F sharp thing, it would be the same E minor, C, G, G thing over and over and over. But it is in there, okay? Now, when he plays, he does the G to D, F sharp in lots of different places when he does it live, where he doesn't do it on the studio track. I'm just going off the studio track here. Okay, so we've got our verse, we've got our pre-chorus, and now we just did our chorus. Our chorus was E minor, C, G, G 3 times. The 4th time was E minor, C, G, and then G, D, F sharp in the same measure. And then we go back to E minor, C, G, G for 2 more. We repeat that twice. Okay, then we're going to go back and we're going to do the verse again. Oh, not the verse. We go back to the pre-chorus, excuse me. So then we're on A minor again, doing the C, G, D, F sharp. Do it again. Okay, so we're just doing that again. This time, we're going to head over and we're going to do the, let me think about where I am here. Oh no, we do go back to a verse. I'm sorry. So we go back to a verse, we go back to a pre-chorus, and then we go back to the chorus. And this time on the chorus, we're going to shift into a whole nother part. We're going to call that the interlude. Okay. So again, the song is kind of long, so there's lots of different things. So we have verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Only this chorus, it's going to change. We're going to come off the E minor, C, G, G, like we did. We did that 3 times, remember? And then the 4th time was different. Okay, this time the 4th time is going to be different too, but it's even more different. It goes E minor, C, G, and then D, F sharp for an entire measure. So this is your chorus now. E minor, C, G, G, E minor, C, G, G, again, E minor, C, G, G, then E minor, C, G right here, D, sorry, I hit the wrong note there, sorry. Okay, so D, F sharp for an entire measure. So it's just a small little change that throws a wrench in everything, but it's there, okay? Then after he does that, he goes into the interlude. This is an entirely new section. So here he plays A minor, C, E minor, G, then he does it again, A minor, excuse me, C, E minor, G, okay, then he goes on to do E minor, C, G, G again, just like we did in the chorus, but he does that twice. So he goes E minor, C, G, E minor, C, G. Okay. Now he goes back, does the pre-chorus, okay, which was the A minor, C, G, D thing, right? Then he comes back to the chorus, only this time, when he does the chorus, he just does single strums. He goes E minor, C, G, G, minor, C, G, G, again, E minor, C, G, G, E minor, C, G, and there's where you have your G to F sharp thing. Okay, and then after that, he moves back into strumming, Angels to Fly. Right after that, he does E minor, C, G, and again, whichever way you want it. You want to do it like this, switching to C at 9. And he just keeps doing that over and over and over until the very last time he says Angels to Die. I think that's what he says. He goes E minor, C, or he does those one strum. He goes E minor, C, G. Okay, now granted, if you're watching this video, you probably know this song in your head way better than I do. So what I did was I sat down, I watched a bunch of different videos, and then I mapped out how all the parts went and connected them together. Okay, so what I want you to do is the same thing. I want you to map each section out and then play along with the song and get a feel for all those changes. Okay, because there's a lot of stuff going on in there. If it was just a verse, a pre-chorus, and a chorus over and over and over, this would be a piece of cake. But it keeps kind of deviating off of that chorus. And then there's other parts where we're not strumming as much. And again, if you're familiar with the song, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where it kind of backs down and gets kind of mellow, and then it comes back up again. So now let's talk a little bit about this strum. What he's doing is, notice I'm not using a pick, first of all. I'm strumming with my hand because it's not as aggressive. He's not using a pick, at least in the ones I've seen, he doesn't use a pick. Sometimes he finger picks, most of the time he was just strumming. So the goal is to kind of get used to just pretending like you have a pick in your hand and just kind of use that. Now, you could use your fingers if you'd rather just use your thumb. I'm going to be pretending like I have a pick here, but it's not as aggressive because I'm using the flesh of my fingers. Now what happens is he gets this boom, kind of rhythm thing going. So what's happening is on those, you want to hit the strings with the karate chop part of your hand. See how I'm coming across, and my wrist, the karate chop part of my hand is coming down on the strings, and then my hand, like I have the guitar pick here, is following suit. So I'm not just doing this and karate chopping the guitar. I'm strumming like I normally would, but right before I strum, I set my palm down, and then I strum, so I'm getting this slapping sound. And it takes a little while to get used to, okay? And you're gonna kind of, chop up the side of your hand too when you keep slicing across there, but that's how you're gonna get that sound, is by simply hitting it like you'd strum it, but instead of strumming it, right before you strum it, you set that palm down. Now, it doesn't have to kill all the strings all the time. It's just giving a percussive effect. So when he strums, he gets this. That's how you're going to strum and make it sound effective. Now, again, let's talk about strumming a little bit. Let's say all of this strumming is really difficult for you, and you just want to play the song and you just want to have some fun. You could simply go back and just strum G, 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 D, F sharp, E minor, C. Just one strum a chord or whatever, or maybe you're strumming, half notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, Or you have a strumming pattern, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Again, it's music. It's supposed to be fun for you to play. So don't get overly, wrapped up in, well, I can't play this chord or I can't do this strum. Those are goals. And the goal for you is to keep trying to work towards those things. But if you're just trying to have some fun with it, simplify what you need to still make the song sound effective. Now, if it's all sounding just fine and it's all making sense, that's the next thing for you to really get used to, is adding that. And it's the variables that are happening when you're strumming, where you're kind of hitting these strings and kind of deadening these strings and all that, that makes it sound like a real song. It's not just like this robotic sound. It's got a real natural sound to it when you strum like that. Okay? So always remember, there's two parts to learning how to play a song. Well, really three. The first part is the tools that you need to play the song. Can you play these chords? Can you figure out this rhythm? If this rhythm is really difficult for you, remember, just practice scratching. Just practice scratching along with the song over and over again, okay? Those are the tools that you need. The second thing is understanding the song, breaking down the verse, breaking down the pre-chorus, breaking down the chorus. And yes, I didn't print it all out for you, and part of the reason for that is because you learn better if you sit down and you write those pieces out for yourself and you look at them and you think about them. That's one of my big hang-ups about like ultimate guitar is when you have all the answers there, a lot of people just stare at the chords. They're not really thinking about the parts. You want to think about that verse. You want to think about that pre-chorus and so on. Now, again, it gets a little messy as it keeps going, but I did the best I can for you to break down how each piece connects onto the other one. Verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and then it goes back and then it deviates into an interlude, and then it goes into another section, the chorus, where it's there's only single strums. And again, if you listen to the song and you write down the parts and you just sit and you listen to it and you look at what you've written and start getting a hang of each little part, that's how you memorize songs, okay? And then the third part is putting it all together, having the technical ability now that you understand the song and you know these chords. The last part is trying to put everything together. And the only way to really do that is you have to have an understanding of how the song goes. What are the chords? Where are the changes? What is the pre-chorus? What is the chorus? How do you do the strum? Putting it all together. So this is actually a really, really fun song. The goal for you is just to be patient and work your way through it. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always get a hold of me through the website here. You get a hold of me through YouTube. And if you have any other requests, just let me know. Thanks.